All right, hello everyone, and welcome back again to another Survalyzer webinar. Thank you for joining us once again in these sessions where we share product updates, help to get to know Survalyzer better. Today, I am very happy to introduce once again our product manager, Bart. In the next 40 minutes, he is going to walk you through some of the latest features we have released in the last quarter. So feel free to drop any of the questions that you might have in the chat. We will do our best to address the most of them at the end of the session. So with this introduction, I will give the word to the most important person here today, Bart. Welcome.
Thank you for the introduction and welcome everyone. For the start, also, please, during the webinar, you're welcome to share not only your questions, but also any feedback. If any of the features I present today you already used, and you already have some feedback points, also feel free to share on chats. We are more than happy to hear any of the points to be able to introduce them further. All right, so today I have the pleasure to introduce you to our biggest developments in the last few months. And we will have 5 big points to cover. One is, of course, our new design. Then a few new things related to AI open comments analysis. Then file upload question type, panel dashboard, and last but not least, the new MaxDiff version coming very soon. Okay, so on the last webinar about our approach to AI, I was showing a lot of slides and prototypes and generally talking about the future. Today, I would like to do the total opposite. So basically, I have only one slide, this one, and I will be showing only things already inside our application. So jumping inside our application and focusing on the first of our topics, so the new design and the refactor. So basically here, I don't want to focus too much on this topic because since you are here, it means that probably you like hearing about new things and testing things out. So either you already use our new design or you at least tried it and switched back because maybe there were some issues at that point, or you just prefer the old one for the moment. But I'm happy to say that we have collected all the feedback points, we read all of them, and basically we have consequently implemented fixes and improvements so that now we are at the moment where we are ready to make it a new default state. It will become a new default starting January. There will be still a month of transition period where you can switch back if you want, or if you still spot some issues. But this will be a new default starting January. However, I strongly encourage you to, if you still don't use it, I strongly encourage you to start already today, because as I said, we already did a lot of improvements, plus a lot of new features that we develop and are already there are basically customized to be either only present in new design or customized so that it works correctly in the new design. So for example, in the new design, you can meet some small UX improvements like being able to quickly, faster navigate through your bigger survey, like quickly expanding sections, seeing in a better way the overview of questions, or for example, being able to name your script fields that you know which script refers to what. Or some new features, like for example, file upload question, which I will talk later, is only available in the new UI. Or also introduce together with new design the choice groups, which if you haven't used them already, just a quick showcase that, for example, if you have multiple questions or matrix questions, now in the new design, you can finally group them in some categories so that it's easier for your respondents to browse through them and also for you to maintain those lists. So usually either for multiple response questions or for matrix questions, when you have a long matrix questions with multiple statements to assess, then you can also group them. If you're an expert user, this of course is available for professional users and up. If you're an expert user, then you can also use groups in lists so that you can reuse those lists in multiple questions, in both versions, either with lists or without. You can use groups not only to give this additional, let's say, visual categorization, but also you can use it to apply in a simple way additional logic like to randomize order of groups themselves, or to randomize items within a group, which you can control per group. So just to summarize, I strongly recommend you to switch on today. If you still don't have it in your account, you can find the switch here. If you still see any issues, please report them either in our survey that is available when you switch back, or in any other channel that you prefer communicating with us. As I said, we read all of those feedback points and implement improvements and fixes as they come. So this was the first point. Then the second point on our list, AI open comments. So here we have two main big things. So coming very soon, so this will be one of those Christmas presents, or right after Christmas, this new AI personalized follow-up question and AI open comment summaries, plus some small reporting simplified improvements I will showcase. But to avoid just showing each feature separately, I would like to present you all of them on this one specific case. So to take a simple NPS tracker and see what we can do with open comments there. So here I prepared a simple NPS tracker, which can be sent after, I don't know, any transaction or customer contact point. And then you ask, of course, about the NPS, your NPS question, and the follow-up open question about the reasons behind, okay, why someone actually answered this way. But one of the problems with those surveys is that usually if actually they provide any open question, then usually it is quite short and vague, of course, depending on the person, but often it does not provide a lot of qualitative insights into what were the actual reasons. So one of the features we developed is this AI follow-up question that allows you to automatically ask deeper about those reasons. So let me first quickly present how it works before diving into details. So let's say I'm a happy customer. I bought a smartphone, and so I'm happy to recommend a smartphone. And I say the main reasons behind my answer were, okay, so I love the photos that it takes, how many it allows to take. And then AI processes this answer, and let's see what type of question to get. Okay, you mentioned that you love the photos it allows you to take. Could you share more about what makes this photo special or enjoyable to you, right? And this is customized based on the inputs the respondent gave. So in this specific scenario, I can say that the portrait mode is really special and better than on other phones I tried, right? This is just an example, of course, right? Let's do quickly another one. So let's say I'm not a happy customer, but I say that, so, okay, your product is okay, but customer service is terrible. Well, okay, of course, on the one hand, we know that it's about customer service, but it doesn't give us a lot of qualitative insight into how to, what specifically about this customer service was bad, right? So in this specific scenario, again, AI is analyzing it and it said, okay, you mentioned that the product is okay, but customer service is terrible. Could you share more about your experience with customer service that led you to this conclusion, right? So I can say that, for example, I had to wait 7 days for initial response to my support message, right? And then based on this type of inputs, I can actually understand more what was the reason behind this situation. So then in an analyzed place, for those follow-up questions. So in the main question variable, you receive both the initial answer and the follow-up answer as just one content, so that you have this one variable to work with if you want to analyze the whole thing. But of course, to understand better what happened in the process, you also have this broken down. You also have this broken down into, sorry, it's not in order. The first answer to the main question, then you have recorded per interview also what was the question that AI actually asked, and then what was the answer to the follow-up question, right? So that you have two ways to analyze your results, either just put both answers in one or each element separately. All right, so then so this is, plus of course, you have a bit of control what is actually happening, because apart from the fact, I mean, of course, not always there is a reason to ask a follow-up question. So on the one hand, you have this hard filter controls that you can define that, okay, if someone is already writing a long, elaborate answer, I don't want them to, I don't want AI even to try to ask a follow-up question because it's already a lot and we don't want to discourage respondents. So here you can control which length of the answer will even receive the follow-up or try to receive follow-up. And on the other hand, AI itself has the mechanism that tries to assess whether the answer actually needs a follow-up, because if there's already enough detail, even in the short answer, it will not try to ask a follow-up because it, again, may actually frustrate the respondents that, okay, I already answered, why do you ask me again, right? So those are, let's say, the two filters for this purpose. Then, so this is the follow-up question. It will be released soon, and then you can test for yourself how it works. It should look really nice for this, especially short open questions or longer surveys where you have panelists and you want to make sure also that the quality of the answers are higher. Then let's move to the second topic, which will be the open comment summaries also released recently. So let's say I would like to proceed to analyze my open answers, right? So first I will do a simple expert report. I can assign some additional filters, but I don't want to do it for the moment, neither for the segmentation. And here I have both my questions, NPS and open comment. I will select both. And here you can see that for the open answer, we have this new Generate AI Summary button, which I will click. And then basically selecting in what language I would like to have a summary, what length, and I also can check, okay, so how many actually not empty open answers I am taking into account. And I can generate a summary for it. As you can see here, AI will take either all of your answers if you have less than 500, or it will select random 500 sample from your data and create a summary based on that. It usually takes really like 5 to 10 seconds to generate. And basically, with this few clicks that I have just taken, I will receive just a qualitative description of what I can actually find in my open comments, right? So I get this nice summary that is saying, okay, what is the focus of the comments in general? What is the general sentiment? What are the most often mentioned topics? And then in bullet points, okay, what are the most often mentioned positive insights? And what are the most often mentioned negative insights, right? I also get information, because it is one-time generated, right? I also get information when it was actually generated for future reference if I want to regenerate it again. Okay, so now I can just add this to my report. I will not change anything else in the settings. And I will just proceed to see how this looks in my report. Okay, so first page is just my NPS score. This is by default, and here I have my AI summary that I generated. And below, a default still word clouds, just mostly for visual purposes here, and then just a raw data table to analyze the results. All right, so this, on the one hand, it allows me to very quickly understand what I can expect in my open comments, right? Without reading any of them, without configuring anything else, just clicking this one button and then I can quickly understand what is inside. However, of course, for this type of surveys like NPS tracker, usually we need to draw any conclusions, we also need frequencies, and we also need to base those frequencies not only on 500 sample, but actually on my whole data set, because I may collect 10,000 answers every month. So to actually get to this type of insight, I will need to use the feature that we already had in the past, which is AI open comment analysis with sentiment and topic analysis per each interview, right? So here we don't have much new developments, but within this process, I will go through here so that we see how it fits in the bigger picture. So for this specific survey, I will configure that, okay, I don't need translation because everything is in English. If I have a multilingual survey, I can translate it. I would like, if anyone provides any personal identifying information, I would like to make it anonymous. I will be using only the main variable because already in this main variable, I have both my main answer and the follow-up answer in one. So I will be using only this for topic analysis. I will ask AI to just suggest me some topics based on the content. So I have 9 topics suggested based on the summary that I just created seconds ago. Topics seem correct. They fit the same. They seem to reflect the bullet points that I saw there. So I will use those topics. And then next, I will not filter any specific things, and then I can just submit. And then it will proceed with the analysis, right? And then, so basically AI is going through every single interview and analyzing now the data against to check for the sentiment and for the topic for each interview. That's why it will take a bit longer than just a sample-based summary. For this type of like 200, probably will take around 15 minutes. So of course we will not wait now 15 minutes for the results. I have already run it previously. And here we have exactly the same survey with this analysis already done. And now one of the new developments is that in the expert report, I can now, when I navigate to my open question, so apart from the summary, which we can add again to see maybe this time a little bit shorter. By the way, if you already used this feature and you saw that those summaries are a bit long, we have also, it will be actually available this Friday, that we improve the prompt a little so that those summaries, you can actually, so the short one is actually shorter than this one, and that it's not repeating the same content in the introduction and conclusions again and again. So this will be since Friday, but at the moment it's already okay. But now what I gain more after configuring this per interview analysis, now I also have those options, right? So I can add not only the raw data table, but I can add sentiment analysis, I can add topic analysis, and I can add raw data. As you might remember, previously you only could select one here. Now you can select all those analyses in once. So both the summary, all the data that we have. And then if I just proceed to see what type of report was automatically created without any further customization. So now again, yeah, NPS was my first page, and now again, okay, so I have my AI summary generated, and then I have my sentiment analysis, I have topic analysis, so basically which topics appear the most often, also including table, which I can interactively sort. And then I also have my raw data where I can actually check, okay, so for example, for battery performance, I can check each comment separately. What are the battery performance? What are overheating issues? And I can actually browse through each open comment separately. All right, so this is another thing that you can quickly have this quick view with just the automated report. You don't have to go to the dashboards to create everything from scratch. And now the last extension related to this topic, available for people that have dashboard extension and access to dashboard builder. You can convert any expert report to dashboard. And after you do this, then you can adjust, as usually in dashboard builder, everything very flexibly. However, yeah, of course, in any, you can adjust. I wanted to say that you can do it flexibly, but you don't have to start from scratch. You can already start from everything automatically created in the expert report first. So for example, here we can say that okay, I would like to create an actual NPS dashboard. So for example, I don't have to have just one AI summary which I cannot change. So I will just quickly say, okay, let me do NPS 1 of 9 for 10. Okay. All right, and now I added the reports. Yes, and now I see it exactly as I wanted, and I can say if this one is for promoters. I can, of course, adjust here any texts, any points, so that this will be in a way I want to present to external stakeholders. Then I can create, I don't want to go through the process now, not to lose time, right? But I can create the same one for instructors and also adjust texts, etc. I can make it, for example, also of less height so that it doesn't take that much space. I can remove all the tables. I can create, for example, separate top topics for positive sentiment and top topics for negative sentiment, right? So generally, very quickly, we can arrive, for example, to like in 10 minutes, we can arrive at this type of dashboard, where you can also quickly add your slicers, just make all the data a bit more compact, right, and see what type of sentiment and top positive to top negative sentiments we have in our data. Or if you really have important NPS tracker and you want to invest a bit more time in creating your dashboard, you can go even deeper and create two-level structure where you have categories and topics, and then you analyze frequencies both for categories and for each small topic, and different type of analysis that will help you understand what is happening inside your data. So this summarizes, let's say, the extensions related to AI open comments, follow-up personalized question, the open comments summary is present in expert report and in dashboard builder, and also those few settings additionally that simplifies the reporting of this data. All right, moving on. Then we have also our new file upload question type. So I know that some of you waited some time until it will be available in Survalyzer, and now it finally is. Let me just clean those a bit so that we can focus on the thing that we talk about. So here it is generally straightforward. You can find the file upload question type in add content method section file upload only in the new UI. And then basically it allows you to ask your respondents to upload documents or photos to your surveys. You basically can control if you allow all of them or just one of those types. And checking the respondent experience, it's basically intuitively what you would expect. So on desktop, it allows you to just select from your file explorer or finder the file you want to attach. On mobile, you can actually have this additional option to allow to capture the photo directly from camera, so that users don't have to search from file libraries, which they cannot navigate. So you can ask your respondents to take products directly to take photos of products directly at their home and just immediately attach to your survey. And then they will have this option when you use this question type. Regarding analysis, you will have this information in a few different places. You can either download all the photos attached in the full zip file. You will be able to identify which photos are attached to each interview, because the files will have the interview ID as a name. Or you can just analyze it one by one directly in the raw data, because in the raw data you will have it as a link to direct download of each image and file. If you want, you can also actually not only download everything or just one by one. You also have, let's say, the middle option when you use the edit raw data features here. You can also narrow down your subset. So let's say I only want to analyze the documents of the people that said that not everything went as expected. Then I have filtered down my subset, and then I can download the zip folder only for this subset, right? So if you have a bigger survey where you have multiple different products filtered out, then you can quickly, for example, filter down to one product type and download photos only for this specific product. One additional option, so in expert reports, you will basically, at the moment, get this possibility to also just download links. If you need to share it in this way, you can just share this type of raw data tables with links. If you have the possibility to use dashboard extension, you can also create, and you have photos collected in your research, you can also create this type of galleries, let's say, where you can show, I don't know, photos before and after, right, or things like that, directly in the dashboard. We will probably also introduce it to the expert report in the further stages. For the moment, it's available in the dashboard builder. So this is related to file upload. If you have still any comments, feedback, or questions, let us know in the chat. So we are short in time slowly. So moving on to the fourth topic, panel dashboard. This topic refers to all our clients that use panels and use them in a way that they have an actual research panel that they regularly survey, and they would like to understand in one quick view, how many panel members they have, what type of surveys they participated in, etc. So normally you access your panel here. You see, what type of, here it is an anonymized one, but you see what type of members, right? Variable management, etc. If you are on our current community extension plan, we have this option to enable for you the panel dashboard. It's not automatically available there. You have to contact either our account manager or CSM team member to enable it for you if you are eligible. But once it is enabled, then in this one view, you have information about how many members you have, how many active members you actually have. You can see the development of your panel in time in terms of the total members, and also newcomers and churn. You can quickly see the current state of the profile, who is present actually in your panel, and this is fully based on your member variables that you have configured for your panel. Then you have this response funnel for survey, both total numbers and also per each survey, so that you can check, okay, for each survey, what was the response funnel, and you don't have to go into each survey. You can have a quick overview of all those surveys here. And also, if you use incentive management in Survalyzer, you also have a quick summary here, information in terms of, okay, what is the total points balance, what are the total points earned, redeemed, how did it affect, behave over time, and also which incentives were actually redeemed, how often, right? So these are the, let's say, basic statistics that you have at hand to quickly check what is the status of your panel. So if you are using the research panel, I strongly encourage, and don't have it yet, then I strongly encourage you to talk to our account manager. If you don't have a research panel but plan to do, I hope that this may also be one of the arguments to potentially start doing it. All right, and the last topic, new extended version of the MaxDiff question type. So you might be familiar with our current MaxDiff version. Oh, wait, sorry, not this workspace. You might be familiar with how our current MaxDiff works. So basically, it allows you to ask, for example, this type of question. So what type of features are least and most important for you when considering buying some kind of a product? And our current MaxDiff version allows you to do it in a simple way, where basically each respondent has to answer that many, let's say, questions or tasks as many features you have. So it generally works well for if, for example, you have only 8 features, and then respondents have to answer 8 times. But of course, it becomes a little bit tiresome for respondents if we have a lot of features to test, like in this case 14, and it might be even more. So then we, of course, understood the feedback that the more advanced MaxDiff versions should be more smart in experimental design and allow to have less questions per respondent, but still produce reliable results. And this is exactly what we are now introducing with our new MaxDiff version. So here we also have exactly the 14 features to ask respondents. But the default version we recommend is that we actually ask 5 items per one task, and each respondent will be asked 9 times to assess, right? So just to quickly make sure that we are all on the same page. And so when we have this type of question for respondent, then I can say, okay, so that camera performance is the most important, sensors are least, right? And then I will need to answer it only 9 times, not 14 as before, or even more if you have like 20 features. So this is one thing. Second thing is that now you also are way more in control, because we have this advanced settings where you will, if you know what you're doing, you will be able to control those settings yourself. So if you are fine with, for example, showing each item only 2 times to each respondent, you can actually lower the number of questions per respondent. And also, it is also, of course, connected to the way that the results are calculated, because previously the results were calculated only on the basic counts. So how many times each respondent selected measurements, operating system, and brand as either best or worst. And now in this new MaxDiff version, we'll be using the PageRank algorithm to calculate the final score. So that means basically that in each, whenever the respondent answers each task, then not only the best and worst features are recorded, but also all the others are has the recorded link that they were assessed in relation to those two. And everything, all of this is taken into consideration when doing final calculation. So then when we arrived at the final report, then the final PageRank of each feature is actually calculated based on the situation in every single question, not only the ones that they will assess as best or worst, right? Additionally, so of course, this will be, once we introduced it also at the beginning of the new year, everything will be described on our education center. And also, apart from this final PageRank calculation, you will also get the best count and worst count table, so that you can compare the ranking based on simple counts and also on this PageRank calculation, whether you don't see any outliers. But even in this simple case, it can be noticed that, for example, for simple counts, the weight is almost the last one, and here the weight is a bit higher, because it all depends on with what type of sets, how it was actually assessed in every single task. All right, so that concludes our topics for today. And now I think this is a time to browse through what type of questions we had or feedback to address.
Thank you so much, Bart. Very interesting topics. Our colleague Arthur has been very kind and has been answering most of the questions that have been already asked in the chat, so that's great. We only have one remaining, which hasn't been answered, which is, can AI generate follow-up questions in the NPS setup when the comment is in Danish? And the same question for Swiss German.
Yes, yeah. I mean, at the moment, this feature is language agnostic, you say it like that, right? Generally, it works for all the languages that we have in the survey. It takes as input and it generates the question in the language that the survey is in. So it works for the languages. It works for multiple language surveys also. So yes.
Perfect. So that was actually actually the last question, which remained unanswered. So we are great with the timing. So that's awesome. I thank you very much, everybody, for your attention and for being here today. The goal here isn't just only to show you everything that has been going on here and what's new. We also want to keep listening to you. So we will send you an email with the recording of the session of today, where we included also a survey where you can share feedback related to the session, anything you have related to the product as well, topics you would like us to cover, features in your wish list, whatever comes to your mind to help us improving these webinars in the future is very welcome. Thank you so much again. We hope you enjoyed it, and to see you in the next time, and happy holidays to everyone. Bye.